He was dead wrong about the size of the world, and that mistake changed history. Why did Columbus think he could sail west to Asia in just a few weeks? What made him so sure he was right when almost everyone else said he was crazy? Stick around, because the answer is a wild mix of old books, bad math, and a whole lot of stubbornness. It's the late 1400s, and Europe's buzzing with dreams of reaching Asia. Think spices, silk, and gold. But getting there by land is long, dangerous, and blocked by empires. Columbus, a sailor from Genoa, has a bold idea: to sail west across the ocean to reach Asia. Sounds simple, right? Except here's the problem. Most scholars say the world's too big for that. So, how does Columbus, a guy with no fancy degree, convince himself, and eventually others, that he can make it? That's what we're diving into today. The big challenge here is understanding why Columbus was so sure the Earth was smaller than it is. He's not just guessing. He's building his case from years of reading, sailing, and piecing together ideas. But his confidence comes with a catch. His calculations are way off, and that mistake sets him on a collision course with history. Let's break down how he got there. Back in the 1480s, Columbus was in Portugal, the hotspot for explorers. The Portuguese are sailing down Africa's coast, trying to find a way to Asia. But Columbus, he's got a different plan. He thinks sailing west is faster. Why? Because he believes the Earth is much smaller than most people think. To understand why, we need to examine where he's getting his ideas. He's not pulling them out of thin air. He's digging into books, maps, and conversations with sailors. First, let's talk about the books. Columbus is obsessed with old texts. One of his favorites is by Ptolemy, a Greek scholar from the 2nd century. Ptolemy's maps and writings estimate the Earth's size, but they're not perfect. Columbus also read Marco Polo, who traveled to China in the 1200s and described its riches. Polo's book makes Asia sound huge, stretching far to the east. Columbus takes this and runs with it, thinking Asia's closer to Europe than it is. Here's where it gets juicy. Columbus also stumbled upon a guy named Toscanelli, an Italian scholar who wrote a letter in 1474. Toscanelli says you can sail west to reach Asia, and he estimates the distance at about 3,000 nautical miles. That's a lot shorter than what most experts believe. Columbus loves this idea. He combines Toscanelli's numbers with his reading of ancient texts and comes up with his estimate. The Earth's circumference is about 18,000 miles, not the 25,000 miles we know today. He thinks Asia's just a quick trip across the Atlantic. But why does he get it so wrong? Part of it is the units he's using. Back then, people used different kinds of miles: Italian miles, Arabic miles, nautical miles. It's a mess. Columbus cherry-picks the measurements that fit his idea, mixing and matching until he gets a number he likes. He also ignores scholars like Eratosthenes, who got the Earth size pretty close 1,700 years earlier. Columbus isn't trying to trick anyone. He genuinely believes his math. That's the thing about him. He's confident. Maybe too confident. Let's add another layer. Columbus isn't just reading books. He's talking to sailors. In Portugal, he hears stories about land spotted west of the Azores, maybe islands, or even Asia itself. These tales, probably exaggerated, fuel his belief that land is closer than people think. He also looks at the winds and currents in the Atlantic. He notices trade winds that could carry ships west, then back east. To him, it's like the oceans begging to be crossed. Now, here's the tricky part. Columbus's idea isn't just about math or maps. It's about faith. He's super religious, and he thinks God's guiding him to find Asia and spread Christianity. He reads the Bible, especially parts about prophecy, and sees himself as part of a bigger plan. This isn't just a voyage for him, it's a mission. That belief makes him bold, but it also closes his eyes to evidence that doesn't fit his theory. By the late 1480s, Columbus was ready to pitch his plan. He tries Portugal first, but their experts shut him down. They say the ocean's too wide, 6,000 miles or more to Asia, not his 3,000. Columbus doesn't budge. He takes his idea to Spain, where he spends years trying to convince King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. His small world theory is his most significant selling point, but it's also his biggest flaw. If he's wrong, he's sailing into nothing. If he's right, he's a genius. Columbus, standing before the Spanish court, maps and books in hand, arguing that Asia's just a few weeks away. He's not a scholar, not a noble, just a sailor with a wild idea. His math is shaky, his sources are old, but his passion is electric. The Spanish monarchs hesitate, but Columbus's confidence and his promise of riches starts to win them over. This moment, built on his belief in a smaller world, sets the stage for 1492. So, why did Columbus believe the world was smaller? It's a mix of old books, sailor stories, bad math, and a deep faith that he was chosen for something big. His mistake about the Earth's size wasn't just a random error. It was the spark that pushed him to sail west, leading to a discovery he never expected. But here's the open question. Was his confidence brave or reckless? That's what makes his story so fascinating. Columbus's small world idea changed history, even if it was wrong. It shows how one person's belief, no matter how flawed, can shift the course of the world. His story isn't just about maps or math. It's about daring to think differently, even when everyone says you're nuts. Want to know how he turned this idea into reality? Check out the following video in our series. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my video with others.